my mom and I just went to India Point Park, and she was like, "Oh my God, there's kayaking over there. You ever been kayaking before?" I'm like, "Mom, I'm half white. The fuck? Of course I've gone kayaking. Of course, I love it."
It's only my opinion. Coffee milk.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. This is Coffee Milk. It's another week of craziness. I am your host, Cleon, and here are your other two hosts. We have Bianca. How are you doing, Bianca? How's your week? How's life?
Just amazing. And that is with the most sarcasm I can.
Okay, like, whoa, those words did not match the emotion. Not at all. But cool. At least you're trying to keep it positive.
Yeah.
Yay. And we also have Jake. Jake, how is everything? How's life on the white side?
Always great. Yeah.
Always
better.
Yeah, exactly.
Always
Yeah.
much better.
Yeah, not always great, but always better.
But always better.
At least you're honest. At least you're honest. No, be honest, goddammit. Embrace that shit. Anyway, wow, right off the bat, we talked earlier about being appropriate, and right off the bat, I'm just throwing out the swears.
Swear.
It's my week is same as it was last week. Nothing really has changed. So I'm not gonna go off on a tangent about anything other than my emotions. Oh my God, I had a tough week this week just dealing with the world in the news. So yeah, we'll talk about that later on. But this week we're gonna head into our first topic, not our first topic, but we're gonna head into the topic of the week. We're gonna talk about tradition. Last week we were having another conversation and we kind of touched on it a little bit. We had a little thingy where I want to say a little dispute because I tend to think tradition is one of the worst things that humans pass on from generation to generation. And the reason I think that is I feel like it hinders our growth. Tradition doesn't allow us to think, to be creative. Tradition tells us that we have to continue these things, these activities that no longer suit us. The only reason we have to continue to do it is because our parents saw some good in it, or it did for them some good. But just because it did them good, it doesn't mean that it also lends to our modern day life. So I tend to hate and despise a lot of tradition. Jake, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, we love a good fraught metaphor on this podcast, and I think a good metaphor for tradition is like breathing. It's just necessary for us to do, but it can be dangerous, And we
said like breathing.
It's like breathing, yeah, because I think it's that important to us in our survival. But just like most of the poison we get in from the environment, or much of the poison we get in from the environment, comes in through our breath, So so without tradition, we'd be weak chimpanzees,
Why?
Better than other.
How has tradition helped us?
How's tradition?
Like, how's it like improved our lives? Like, what does it do?
So if I want Bianca to put her 2 cents into, because this is a huge conversation.
Okay. I go Bianca.
I mean, just briefly, broadly thinking, tradition is everything we get from other people. It's everything we get from the people who came before us. So like the way we do our hair, like the t-shirt I'm wearing, the food we eat, like the fact that we're not out there like throwing rocks at rabbits. We're growing grain and plantains and all that, and just having a balanced a balanced diet through that. That's all tradition. And so I feel like you can't say tradition is the worst. Obviously, the worst things we do also come from tradition, but I think I take a more nuanced view.
What about you, Bianca?
Yeah, I think I tend to agree. Like, there's bad traditions and there's good traditions. The good ones, let's keep them up, The bad ones, let's throw them away.
I think go ahead, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I think there's more bad. It does more bad than it does good. A lot of racism is passed on through tradition.
Yeah, racism is an American tradition, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a thing that's passed on from one family member to the other.
Yeah, no doubt.
Right, and I don't think that's necessarily right. I don't think that's a good thing, and I don't see in any other way. Like, think about the tradition, some of the traditions where arranged marriage and things like that. Like, that's a tradition that's passed down from generation to generation. At one point, that's one of those things that made sense at a certain point, right? When people were more scattered, that made sense to sort of have to know who you were going to marry. In a modern day society, that doesn't make sense. Why are we still doing it?
I'm with you with racism. I think racism is like a classic bad tradition that we should do away with. But I lived in the Middle East for a long time where arranged marriages are very common. And as someone who's been divorced once and been through a lot of traumatic relationships, like, I wouldn't want to be in an arranged marriage, but I know a ton of folks who are in arranged marriages that are very happy.
I'm not saying that it doesn't. I'm not saying that you're not going to be happy if you're in an arranged marriage. I'm saying the whole structure of it doesn't. It doesn't. It's not a thing that we need anymore, right? It's not like you go. I'll even change from that. You go hunting, right? You said you were a hunter.
Yeah.
That's one of those traditions that are stupid as hell in the modern day age. Like, in the modern day age, going out because you're bored to go murder some animals, like, that's so dumb.
I disagree with that entirely, and I think this is a good example, because when most of the time I get meat, you guys both eat meat, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so when you go eat meat, you source meat that's been sitting in a refrigerator for a really long time that was sourced from a factory farm.
Right.
And
like we all do.
Yeah, and I'm not judging you. In the meantime, when I go hunting, I hunt animals that are overpopulated. Deer are one of the biggest killers of humans because they crash into cars so much. Like, there's too many of them. We've killed all the predators off that would eat them. And
your point, right?
Now that the tradition of hunting is falling by the wayside, we're having a serious problem with that. And deer are having a problem too because they're overpopulated. They're lousy with disease. So, I think that's an example. I think hunting is a much superior way of sourcing meat.
So we caused the problem, and then our solution for that problem that we caused is to murder the animals that we got into that issue. Like, we're the ones, you said it in the beginning, you said it.
We killed off all the wolves and grizzly bears, but they would be eating us if we didn't. We can't coexist with large predators.
That is so false, man. People in Africa deal with large predators all the damn time, and there's still tons of Africans, and there's still tons of villages.
Cleon, in Africa, where there are large predators, especially crocodiles, but also lions, like, the relationship with the human community is very, very fraught. And
it is, but we're still able to
And the only reason that they don't kill off all the large predators there is because we put pressure on them not to. Like, they would be doing the same thing if they could. And it's understandable. I would not want to live near a Nile crocodile. I would not want to live near a mountain lion. I would not.
I disagree. I think humans can deal with crocodiles and big predators and live amongst them. And yes, we're going to have to deal with them, but you could still live amongst them. We've been living amongst them for centuries before cities and before modern day age, and we were fine.
It sounds like you want to maintain that tradition of living near large.
I also want to live near mice.
Yeah. Leon, back me up here. Would you be happy walking your kid through the park and seeing a huge monster bear mauling somebody? No.
What I'm saying, my point is not that I agree with you. There's some tradition that is touching, like something like a quinceañera or whatever. Like, there's certain traditions that are pure and awesome, but I feel like the majority of them are just toxic. Christmas, a holiday. That is the most toxic, terrible, worst holiday in the world. It's a holiday where we make a
hates Christmas. I just want to make that very clear. Cleon's war on Christmas.
All I'm saying about Christmas is that it's a holiday that we have made around lying to kids, pretending that some dude is gonna hop out of his sleigh, jump through their chimney, give them a bunch of presents and all of that. And it's a consumer driven holiday. There's nothing pure about Christmas. There's nothing like jolly about it. When I hear Christmas is coming, unlike everyone else where they get all happy and they're like, oh, Christmas is coming, I'm like, oh fuck. I gotta deal with these dumbass songs. I gotta deal with these stupid ass utile cheer. Like I hate it. You're right. I hate Christmas. It's not a war against it.
I'm gonna let Bianca take this one. I'm gonna let Bianca defend Christmas.
I personally love Christmas. I do. We have a tradition in our house to put up the tree and listen to Dipset Christmas, which is by far the best Christmas album.
All right, Bianca. Yo, I can't believe in one show, I don't know if we got the early part, that you said the whitest thing I've ever heard and the blackest thing I've ever heard all in one day. Damn, that is amazing.
Yes. First of all, there's this one line Jim Jones goes, "This Christmas got me going insane, Ma." And that is my favorite thing ever. Christmas in Harlem. It's just
Great song.
It's great traditions. We decorate the tree. Now that I have I have to say, as an adult, it started to get like it wasn't like as exciting as it was when I was younger. But my mom really did Christmas right. I was an only child, first and foremost. And my mom would literally wait. I'm talking until I'm 18 years old. Like I came back from college and she still did it. She waits for me to go to sleep. I'm dead asleep. And I go to sleep late, right? So she'll wait till 4 a.m. when I'm dead asleep, right? She'll put all the gifts out and everything. She'll come wake me up in the morning. Get up, it's Christmas. Mommy, it's Christmas. It's freaking awesome. I go in the room. There's hella gifts. It's amazing. Now, after she stopped doing that, Christmas got kind of whack or whatever. But now that I have a kid, I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait.
Are you gonna lie to your child?
I think that puts the fucking
liars.
That's just so wonderful. So the worst kind of traditions are bad things our parents did that we're now doing. But also a whole boatload of things like that, just really nice things that your mom did
for kids. And
now that you're gonna do for your kids, and also
for kids. For the only time Christmas is magical is when you're being lied to. You just basically said it. Bianca's story just highlighted that. The only time
when she was 18, did you believe in Santa Claus when you were 18?
I don't think I ever believed in Santa.
Yeah, exactly. She's not being lied to. It's a nice.
But did you? Okay, no. Wait, hold on. Did your mom tell you there was a Santa?
I can't remember. I mean, she would definitely write on the gifts from Santa.
Okay, she lied to you then.
That was very clear.
Your mom lied to you.
The biggest magical part of it all was how the hell did my mom get the money for all of this shit? She had this
hard work
away for the whole year.
Look at that. Your mom worked so hard to get you all these wonderful gifts. And who gets all the praise? Some fat white dude who jumps through chimneys. That is not cool.
You guys want to hear something funny about Santa? I believed in Santa until I was 7 or 8, and I had serious doubts about God. But I was like, if Santa exists, there must be God. And then when my mom told me there was no Santa, I was like, well, I guess this God bullshit too.
I love that God and Santa were tied in.
I was like, God here, Santa here. more about Santa.
Right, because Santa brought you gifts at the end of every year. God just did some shit supposedly that you heard about.
Right.
But listen, I mean, Christmas is a great example of tradition because, everywhere that weather has gotten cold, Christmas has been celebrated in some capacity for
No, the best American. Sorry.
Yeah.
The best. Or you go? No, continue.
You go. I want you to go.
The best American holiday is Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is the purest holiday. All you're really doing, you're getting with people that you love and enjoy. You're sitting around a table and you're eating, you're sharing a meal together. That is the pure. There's no gifts. There's no fucking there's no pretend guy. It is the most purest, honest holiday. That is my favorite. Just because you're literally all it is hey, come sit with me. Enjoy this meal. You and me, we're gonna have this big meal. There's gonna be dessert afterwards, some music. I love Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday.
Are you white meat or dark meat when it comes to turkey?
Man,
clear.
All right.
I know
if I'm making a sandwich the next day, white meat.
Yeah.
If that day, the day of, I want the dark
Yeah, no, that's the drumstick. But no, I think Thanksgiving is like a great example of the ambiguous nature, like kind of the nuanced nature of tradition. Because I love it too. That's like arguably my favorite holiday.
Yeah, mine too.
Also, kind of like it also involves the whitewashing of Native American genocide. You know.
Well, okay.
Which
well,
that's not funny.
I mean, yeah, I mean, but like, and I think that that's just something we have to grapple with our traditions. Like, it is like breathing. Like, it's where we get all our sustenance from, but it's also where we get all our poison from as well.
Yeah.
I just think it's important to like kind of be honest with ourselves.
I agree. I totally agree that you should be honest with the origin of this holiday. I was just merely talking about the act of the holiday is the most purest form of
yeah, it's a great holiday. And I don't think we should stop celebrating Thanksgiving. I just think, you know, it's a lot of people. Yeah, I just think it's nuanced. A tradition is always good and bad.
I think it's mostly just bad, bro. It doesn't advance us in any way. Like, tradition has stopped us from interracial communication. Tradition has stopped us from so many things. I think a lot of the time why white people and black people don't communicate that well is because of tradition. Black tradition, white traditions that has passed on these terrible beliefs back and forth, and you're not allowed to see another human as just a human, someone who's white as just a human being, and then from there, trying to figure out what kind of human being they are. I just feel like tradition does this more harm. The same way I feel about religion, it does more harm than it actually does good in advancing. Because of tradition, I think technology isn't where it should be because we've used tradition to fucking hold stuff back. I don't know. I don't think thing.
What?
What do you think, Bianca?
I don't know. I love my tradition. I get it.
I definitely love my traditions. I don't know.
I mean, the fact that Cleon hates Christmas with such a burning passion, I feel like proves my point.
Because
Christmas.
I want to sit here and put it in different words. Like, I don't hate Christmas, but I hate Christmas.
You also hate
Jamaican Scrooge over here.
Huh?
You also hate Valentine's Day?
I think if you are married, Valentine's, like, there's something in that form. Valentine's Day is pure, and it's a nice way of just another day of being able to show your loved one that you truly care or whatever. It's just a nice little bonus, I think, when you're married. Prior to that, it's some bullshit. Prior to that, it's just a day where people are like, oh, let me give you some candy and we gonna fuck tonight. Like, it's just a holiday.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong with that, but let's call it a fuck holiday instead of trying to make it this thing that it's not. What pisses me off is when we try to pretend, like, if we were just gonna make Christmas and say what Christmas is at its purest, be like, yo, it's a holiday where we buy each other shit. I would be like, okay, cool. But we try to, like, put it under this thing, joy and give back, when it's not that. And Valentine's Day frustrates me too, because instead of just saying, yo, it's a fuck a day or a fuck holiday, whatever you want to call it, like, it's a day when you find the person that you're attracted to. And
the symbol for Valentine's Day is literally a fat object going into a vagina object.
Right.
It is literally that. It is. They're pretty open.
And think about it. You're finding someone and then you're giving them chocolate and flowers in hopes of hooking. Like, it's yucky. It's gross. I don't like Valentine's Day. Unless, like I said, you're married. Then I totally understand that.
I used to give my mom Valentine's Day gifts.
I don't want none. I try not to give any, but I'm a single male. That's probably
I pretty much like all holidays. There's no holiday where I'm like, Actually, I don't really love Easter. Because I'm like, I'm kind of along the lines of like, it's a fake thing, an Easter bunny. I don't know. I can never wrap my head around it.
It's supposed to be about Jesus, but then it's also about a bunny that poops out chocolate.
Well, one thing that's cool about our holidays is it's like all our holidays, like they're mainly European pagan holidays with like a Christian veneer, right? And so Easter's the spring holiday, so it's a fertility symbol. Bunnies, chicks, they're all symbols of fertility and plenty. So
where did the pooping of the chocolate eggs come from?
Because it's just like a symbol. I mean, like eggs and rabbits, like they're just symbols of like abundance. Because like if you had,
rabbits don't even lay. Like, it's all stupid, man. Rabbits don't lay eggs for one. They're mammals, brah. Like, it's all dumb. It's like, here is now the symbol of this mammal laying a fucking egg. That's chocolate. Like, it's all stupid. It's just dumb.
Jamaican Scrooge.
Well, let me tell
Jamaican
you-
Scrooge.
Jewish holidays are awesome.
They're good. I love a good Jewish holiday.
I don't know anything about that. I'm too
Jewish
Jamaican.
holiday.
You've never been
Passover's
to
my favorite.
I'm not Jewish, but I've been to mad. What are they called? Seder's. I love a good.
Yeah, Passover.
Okay.
Those are my favorite.
You're also white, so you can blend in there very well.
Well, she's a real Jew, and she's not
my
white.
favorite this year.
All right, awesome. I'd be down.
It's
Dude,
very.
we should do a
riddle-
Dipset Seder. We should write Dipset. They should do a dreidel song.
Dreidel.
This dreidel got you going insane, ma.
It's kind of like CeeLo. Dreidel and CeeLo are very, very similar.
Oh God! All right, guys. You gonna say something, Bianca? No. All right. Well, that was our topic. I think we all agree that tradition is trash. I'm glad that we've first show agree on something holy.
Leon's always right, guys. Jamaican Scrooge, never wrong.
It's tradition that Clayon's always right.
All right. So we're not doing any Rhode Island news this week. I decided to take a break from Rhode Island news.
Oh,
This
so
week.
sad to see you get angry.
Gina's like, thank God.
He doesn't care, clearly. But anyways,
She's one of our 8 views.
Yeah,
I know.
we know you're watching, Gina. What's up, girl?
what's up, Gina? Know what I mean? So we're gonna move on to some random news. So guys, to change the mood of the show. This week has been a little insane. So protests broke out across I think it's Kenosha. Kenosha. Okay. So yeah, protests broke out across Kenosha, Wisconsin Sunday night after police officers shot a black man at least 7 times in the back. His name is Jake Blake, and he survived the shooting, but he is most likely paralyzed from the waist down. So the confrontation began around 5 p.m. in the resident neighborhood. Witness told the local paper that Blake was breaking up a verbal argument. So he was breaking up a verbal argument. He wasn't a part of the verbal argument between 2 women when police arrived at the scene. The video posted online of the shooting showed Blake walking away from the police officers towards his silver SUV. As he approached his driver's side door, 2 officers followed close behind, their guns already drawn. When Blake opened the car door, the officer nearest him lunged for his shirt, pulling him back before he unloaded a series of shots in Blake's back. A second officer also appeared to shoot Blake too. So we are back in the year of despair, where we get to sit by and watch as police officers murder black men for being black men, murder black men for just living, going from 0 to 100 just like that, losing their cool when they're supposed to be mediators. Their job is to be mediators. Their job is not to escalate situations. And yet, every time in the case, in regards to black male, it seems like things go from 0 to 100 really quickly. And for me, it's so disheartening to constantly have to deal with this kind of stuff, because you constantly have to center yourself. Because the first thing when you see things like this, the first thing that pops in your mind is anger. And when you constantly see it all the time, you get even more pissed. You get irate. And it's, as a black man, it's balancing myself. It's not allowing these heinous acts from these individuals to cloud my thought on a whole race of people. It's hard in 2020 to not slightly have that back of the neck feeling where you're like, yo, what is up with white people? And you have to constantly remember yourself that it's not all white people. It's certain individuals who don't value me as a human, who think because I have pigment in my skin that I'm not worthy of life. I'm not worthy of anything that America has to offer. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating. And it's even more frustrating knowing that you can't do anything about it. You can only talk. Like, the only thing I can do, the only reprise that I have in those moments is knowing that maybe I get to fucking sit and talk about it on the show or to like friends. But that's it. I can't do shit about it. I have to watch constantly as the police murder my people one at a time, and the same excuse get used over again. Oh, he should have listened. Oh, why didn't he do that? Oh, how come he did this? And it is annoying. It's frustrating. It's disheartening. It's all these emotions wrapped up in one. Yet you still have to sort of function through everyday life. You're dealing with all these emotions, and then you have to function in everyday life. And the only thing I'm really glad about is that I don't, in these moments, have to go to a physical job and deal with certain kinds of people. I'm glad that I can sit down and deal, because I don't know how I would be able to function with other people, with all the emotions that I have. So I just needed to, I guess, say that. But yeah, it's been a really, really tough one, guys. And I don't know, man. I don't know what the answers to any of this bullshit is, other than to see us as humans. And we, like, I'm a human, man. I'm not any less of a human. I want the same things that you want. My pursuit is happiness and joy. That's all I'm trying for, and I don't understand why that's a problem for some people. So Jake, what's
I'll let the black woman speak on it first. How you feeling, Bianca?
I don't know. I literally cried like many times or around this subject just in the past couple months, obviously, since George Floyd, and then just so many others coming out, and Breonna Taylor, Elijah McClain. It's just, I'm tired, I'm just tired of it. It's exhausting and just so sad. I agree with everything you said, Cleon. I don't know what to do. I remember when the Elijah McClain story came out, I don't know if I was just having an especially emotional day, or if it was just the story itself that got me. I mean, all these stories are horrible. It doesn't matter. But I think just the pure innocence of Elijah McClain. I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you guys know about his story.
Remind me.
What's that?
Remind me.
So I don't want to misspeak, but I think he was on the spectrum.
Yeah, no, yeah, it was really hard.
I think so. And he had some sort of like sensory or social difference. And he like played he would go to like a local like animal shelter and play his violin for the animals. Like, he was that type of, like, just a sweet kid. Like, I saw a video of him being surprised for his birthday, and he was just so happy and sweet. And not that anybody, I don't even care if you are an actual criminal or whatever, nobody deserves that. But his story just got me so bad. My mom just had been working this summer with kids with autism, so I think I felt like even more connected to the story. But yeah, he got like choked out, I think, or something like that. Or no, he got shot. The EMT came and like shot him up with some stuff that made him. Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember the story exactly. It was such a while ago. But anyways, I cried and I wept and I called the numbers that people are telling me to call. I called the numbers for Breonna Taylor, the freaking attorney general, whatever, all of the numbers, the governor's office, blah, 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 blah. People's phones, they would go right to voicemail. Some people's voicemails were full. They weren't you know, listening to the voicemails, and it feels like, oh my God, like I'm doing my part, right? I'm making these phone calls. Like that was supposed to make me feel better, but it actually made me feel worse because it's like, well, I'm not really doing anything. My phone call is going to a voicemail that's literally already full. They're not even going to see the fact that I called.
The system's broken, man.
It's horrific. And it's like, you know, it's a pandemic right now. And like, so I you know, I'm obviously aware of that and not necessarily trying to go out to the protests and everything. But even the protests, like at the end of the day, what the hell are they doing? Like, not to say that we shouldn't do them. I think we need to make noise.
It's exactly that though. It's making noise. And sometimes in these situations, you need to make noise. You need to let the system know that you're not going to take it anymore.
Yeah, somebody posted it and I reposted it, but it was something like, if somebody were to kneel on my son's neck for 8 minutes, I would burn the city down. And people need to realize that, because they're like, oh, these looters and whatever. Like, if an officer or really anybody kneeled on my son's neck for 8 minutes until he literally died, or came and shot him up while he was sleeping, or did any of these things, shot him while his back was turned, you would never hear the end of it. You would have to literally kill me.
Jake, as a white man, how are you dealing with this?
Yeah, I mean, it's been really disturbing in Kenosha. I mean, it's just another one of these things. I mean, you talked about that kid, I believe it was in Colorado, the violin kid who got killed. And it's just like, when you see the video, it's like, obviously, like they did not need to shoot him, you know. And it just is happening over and over again. And yeah, it's really, really disturbing. It's also, I mean, when you talk about how, like, it seems like white people are evil, like, there's the fact that all these, you know, white conservatives are somehow defending the officers in this and like trying to bring up the guy's criminal record, like it justifies, like
it's the same tactic.
They knew that, what?
I said they use the same tactics all the time.
They do it every time. Every time it happens.
I know people of color who are bringing up, actually somebody you used to live with, Cleon. I'm not gonna bring this person's name into it.
Does this mofo's name has to do with a sign in the skies?
No.
Oh, okay.
Let's not speculate.
I don't know what you're talking about now.
Oh, you know, like if you like, there's Aquariuses and then there are Leos.
Oh, no.
Okay.
That friend. Another.
Oh my God, I know who you're talking about. Is he Puerto Rican?
Yeah.
And he's light skinned and he has light blue eyes.
He's very white passing.
Yes.
Not
That we had him and I were supposed to actually do a podcast, because we have such, even though we've been friends for so long, our views on the world are so, and he grew up poor. And his belief.
It's shocking.
Oh, he is super, oh my God. And then he started dating this white woman. I'm sorry.
I know. I don't want to go into him, but I'm saying him and people like him, it's shocking to me that even they are saying like, oh, he did this or that. And it's just like, a cop does not get to choose who lives and dies.
Yeah, and in most of these cases, like in the Jacob Blake case, like Jacob Blake wasn't doing like the quote unquote right thing to do when cops are mad at you. But yeah, like you said, like you shouldn't get half a clip in you for that. You know, it's just like, it's completely, and that cop clearly didn't think anything was gonna happen either. Now, another disturbing thing, besides the far right, or the right wing kind of being like, oh, these cops are heroes, this guy deserved to get shot 7 times. I think something we didn't bring up, and that's also very disturbing, and that's been disturbing for the last few years, is the fact that, I mean, I don't like the looting. Like, I understand that people are really angry, and it's sort of an inevitable, it's like inevitably going to happen. If we don't reform police forces, like, cities are going to burn down, and that's one of the reasons we should reform police forces. But I don't like seeing it. What I like even less is these guys who are coming in, these people who are these white guys from out of town who are coming in 15.
Yeah, we're gonna hit on
because that's almost as disturbing to me. But the last thing I want to say about police reform is I feel like we can reform the police. It just has to be federal reform, because like in the South during the civil rights movement, when municipal school departments were being extremely racist, like what we did is the federal government was like, actually, that's fucked up. And we sent the National Guard in and forced these municipal and these state school departments to stop being so racist. And I think we need something like that. We need extreme federal oversight done by hopefully a Democratic administration. So I do think there's hope, even though it seems so hopeless. And I think these protests, I think they're helping push that along. So I think it's a good thing.
To go back to something Bianca said, she said like why we were talking about a little earlier about this individual who sort of grew up in the same circumstance that we grew up in, or but has a certain different thought pattern on the world. And I look at it as those people, it's self-hate. If you know, I'm not going to go into it, but if you know this person's backstory, it has to do with self-hate. It has to do with not liking the person that they grew up with and then sort of projecting that onto other minorities. I think a lot of those, I feel like a lot of those cases have to do with just people who just don't like themselves, and yeah, it's terrible because they don't, it's weird that they don't see the picture, but it makes sense too, because that person can, if you look at that person, you wouldn't assume that they're a minority, right? They can pass. And so, yeah, it's, sorry, I put it back there, but
What do you think about someone like, what's her name?
Candace Owens.
Candace Owens, exactly. You know exactly who I was thinking of, because she's...
I didn't slide into her DMs, dog. She's cute.
Oh, she's so...
Did you say she's cute?
You don't think Candace Owens is attractive?
Are we talking about the same Candace Owens? Wait, is Candace Owens the black woman who's hella anti-black people?
Honestly, I'm just turned on by conservative. Like I'm attracted to Kellyanne Conway. Hope Hicks is bae. I love Hope Hicks at the speech yesterday, at Trump's speech. I was like, smoke. She's getting
gross. You're attracted to villains. That's nasty, bro. You're attracted to people with deteriorating souls. For me, like your soul. Nah, I don't give a fuck about your face, bro. If your face is beautiful, but your soul is just putrid, that goes, that for some reason, for me, it just like, it just morphs your face.
You never fucked a crazy girl, Clan? It's the best.
There's a difference between doing what you just said to a crazy girl and finding crazy girls hot. That is different. Doing that to someone who you didn't know was crazy and then you did it and you're like, oh shit, she's crazy, damn. Is different from, oh, she's crazy. Oh, damn, she's crazy. Oh shit. Like, that's weird, bro. That's
my type, dog. Mentally ill. I ain't got no type. Mentally ill broads is the only thing that I like.
Nah, I can't, man. Those people like that disgust me, man. I can't look past that to see, like, no, I can't.
I mean, Candace Owens, it makes sense because she's getting paper on it. Like, she's just...
Candace Owens is gross. Like, I hate people like Candace Owens more than I hate white people who are anti-black. Because I can understand why a white person is anti-black. They have never experienced black life. They're just so removed. I can get why they can, but I cannot, for the life of me, understand why another black person would hate on another black person like Candace Owens does. All right, guys. So our next story is entitled Fatal Shooting. So Kyle Rittenhouse was arrested in his home state of Illinois after traveling to Kenosha to play vigilante with other gun-toting Blue Lives Matter clown humans, people. So he traveled there in hopes of, I guess, helping the police or helping defending businesses and buildings that were being burnt. I don't know. Whatever freaking protesters do when they're pissed the hell off. I hate these headphones right now. I'm trying to adjust these things. Anyways, yeah. So he traveled there to play vigilante. He shot like 3 people. 2 people died, I believe. But the crazy part of the story is that after he did the shooting, people were yelling and saying, "Oh, hey, this guy is shooting people." Instead of arresting him, the cops sort of allowed him to walk. So it was, the story goes on, it says, with his rifle still on display, the suspected gunman appeared to have his hands over his head as he approached the police in an apparent surrender. and he had his hands up. This is what a reporter said that was there. He said he had his hands up, and they told him to get out of there, even though everyone was yelling that he was the shooter. So he has a gun on him. He has his hands up. Everyone's saying, hey, the guy with his hands up and the gun on his fucking shoulder is shooting people out here. The cops tell him to go on, continue his life. And that's why they end up arresting him all the way in Illinois instead of where he shot the people. It's crazy in situations like this. When you see a result of a man walking back to his car, he gets like 7 rounds in his back. But a dude walking down the middle of the street, strapped with a gun, with his hands in the air, he just gets told to go home. The police said, though, the reason why they didn't arrest them was everything got confusing. There was, and I quote, this is from the sheriff, his name is David Beff, a quote, there was screaming and hollering and chanting, and the situation was so high and stressed, you're in tunnel vision. So he's saying the reason they didn't see the guy was because, there was all this chaos. There was so many things happening. Even though when you see in the video, the guy is in the street by himself. There isn't really much people around him because he has a gun and he's shooting people. Not like there was a crowd around him. He was in the street by himself, walking down with his hands up, and yet they still told him to get along. I don't know how you miss a whole rifle on a dude's shoulder, but somehow they did.
Well, there were a lot of armed people around there. I mean, I'm not justifying the police.
Militias?
Yeah, obviously.
None of the protesters were armed.
No, one of the guys he shot had a gun. But I'm saying that there were lots of people like him around. Like when you see the video, there's shooting everywhere. And I'm not saying this to just the police department, because obviously the Kenosha Police Department is on some bullshit. Their chief is crazy. But like, this is going to happen more and more, because like this tradition that we've developed in America of bringing guns to protests, like, it's shocking this doesn't happen more often. This has happened before, something along these lines of protesters shooting each other. And yeah, it's just insane. Like, this kid who shot the people is a 17-year-old high school dropout. And I think he should, I don't know the circumstances. I mean, the video I saw, it appeared like he was being attacked. I don't know if he provoked that. I don't know what happened. But like, the folks who organized him being there should be held accountable for this. Like, whoever started the Facebook group, that's like, if you're a Republican and you like cops, you should get your AR-15 and come down to Kenosha with us. Like those folks should be held accountable for that, because this isn't.
He went to the situation. He lives in Illinois. What is he doing? He lives
15 minutes away.
It doesn't matter. He doesn't live. It has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with him. You're not a police officer, for one. So why the hell are you even there? So to say, oh, there's many people around. He put himself in that situation. It's all on him and all the rest of the scumbags who are there.
100%. And I'm not justifying that. I'm just saying that it goes beyond him. Like, that was an organized group of folks who was there. He's obviously a fucking idiot. There's no like, the fact that he would, like, the people who enabled him to be there should also be held accountable, because like, yeah, I don't know. It's horrifying. It's going to happen more. Yeah, I think we should get used to political violence in this country. Like, I don't think we should get used to that shit. I hate terms like that. Like, we should get we shouldn't get used to that shit. We should do something about that. We shouldn't get. I shouldn't be used to. There's already so many things I have to worry about being a black man that now I have to also worry about fucking that shit. Like, nah, man. Like, that's. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying there's nothing we can do about it. Like, the cat's out of the bag there. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't think that. I don't think that's true, because the police officers didn't do anything about it. It's as simple as a vigilante, someone walking with a gun, arresting them, especially when the crowd was saying that he was shooting. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Whatever argument you want to make on why I don't want to say it was okay, but that it was plausible for them to miss this guy doesn't make any sense. He was if you look at the image, he was in the streets by himself walking down. There was no one around him. They saw him. They looked at him. How do you look at someone and not see a gun on their shoulder?
Well, no, the police are on some bullshit. I mean, the police were literally driving around giving them water, like giving the vigilantes water. So, like, no, I'm not saying the police.
That's how you change it. Police should not be buddying up with vigilantes. That's how you change it. You say, oh, how do you change it? You just allow it to happen. No, you don't allow it to happen. You don't have police officers who give vigilantes water and encourage them to go and shoot protesters. That's how you stop that.
We
And let's
need
not call them vigilantes anyways. I think of vigilantes, I think of Batman, somebody who's really fighting crime, not over here doing crime. But like, this just goes to show that, like, for one, police aren't here to protect you. Like, they're not protecting anybody, because first and foremost, a white guy died, right? He was the guy.
Two of them.
Two white guys died.
Two white guys died. So they're not even protecting white people. They're literally protecting no one. I think about how the fact that there was a kid who got shot in front of my school. We have 2 officers in my school. I'm not saying anything bad about them, but they didn't stop that from happening. That's the whole defund the police thing. I believe in it because I have yet to hear of a time when police were actually doing what they were supposed to be doing and stopping crime from happening.
Escalating crime.
They are doing the opposite of de-escalating. They're actually escalating crime. They're doing the crimes themselves.
Exactly.
They're imprisoning people who have done stupid things, like using drugs or whatever. To me, it just boggles my mind. It continues the narrative that like I don't know if reforming the police. You say that it could work on a federal level. I feel like I feel so hopeless about police at this point.
Listen, I mean, different police departments like have different, like they act differently. I mean, every municipality has different police departments. Of course. And the fact is, I mean, there's been this trend over the last 20, 30 years that police forces that are basically run by democratic municipal governments have become less violent. They're killing less people. And that includes all the big cities. I mean, the NYPD did not look good this year. They did not act well in those protests. But the fact is that there has been positive change in the NYPD and their use of force over the last 20, 30 years. In places like Kenosha and smaller cities that have mixed Republican Democratic control or are just controlled by Republicans, police are becoming more militarized and being involved in more of these incidents. So I think there are best practices. And when it comes to defund the police, I think we should be really careful about that because there is links between police action and reduction in violence. And like, we have to talk about the unintended consequences. We have to talk about police harassing people and how that's like not worth the reduction in violence necessarily. But I do not think we need fewer police or like less money to the police. I think we need to be able to fire police. I think we need to get rid of a lot of these police and replace them with people who are not only better people and not going to be giving fucking water bottles to like white supremacist militias, but also people who have the funding to help communities. Because young black men are the most likely to be victimized by police. They're also the most likely to be victimized by the kind of crimes that rise when you get rid of police. I think we should just keep that in mind.
Repeat that last part?
So young black men and young Latino men, to a lesser extent, they're most likely to be affected by police brutality, but they're also the crimes that rise when police presence declines, like murder, violent robbery, stuff like that. Young black men are also the most likely to be victims of those crimes. So it's like.
What do you mean by victims? Are you trying to say that most black men then will commit those
I'm not
those
saying
violent
that.
crimes because police
I'm saying that if we drop the police brutality rate and violent crime increases, that's going to hurt the same people that police brutality.
The thing is that we don't know if the decrease of defunding police will then mean crime will rise. That's an assumption that we're making because we have tied, or not we, white people have tied the police with safety. So yes, I totally understand you as a white male thinking that if you defund the police that somehow there's going to be crime because to you, their safety, right? Their comfort. As a black man, hold on, let me finish my point. As a black man, I don't believe that. Police aren't safety to me. So defunding the police doesn't affect my life in any negative way because I'm fucked either way. There's too many cops around, they're gonna harass me. There's not enough cops around, supposedly I'm gonna get shot by other black people. Like, nah, like I don't. No.
Okay, so listen, I didn't know we were gonna talk about this. I wish I did, so I had the studies in front of me. But
bring the numbers.
Yeah, but first of all, I don't want to act. I've gotten my ass kicked by cops before. There was no pretext to it. I was smoking weed, but police violence affects black.
You thug.
No, I wasn't a thug. I was a fucking teenager smoking weed. But police violence affects black people worse than it affects black Americans worse than it affects white Americans. But when we compare our statistics to other countries, like in Europe and Japan, every American is more likely to be killed by police, more likely to be assaulted by police. So
because they killed the reason why that statistic is the way it is, numbers never lie, but people do, is because the majority of people that are dying are black people. Not by black people. Cops are killing the majority black and colored people, then not white people. When you see these tragedies happen, very rarely is it a white person dying from the hands of a cop. So those. Yes, that makes sense, but what you're failing to put in there is that the majority of that is black people and colored people and people of color.
No, I just said that. I'm not. I literally said it's disproportionately affecting people. I'm
okay.
ignoring that at all.
Sorry, I might have
obviously just listen. But what I'm saying is you're incorrect that police presence doesn't decrease violence. It definitely does, and there have been I don't have the studies in front of me because I wasn't prepared for this conversation, but there are basically what they've found, in New York, what they found is that stop and frisk did decrease crime, but it had horrible effects on the community relations, And
yeah. Oh my God, bro! I love that. I love that for crime. I love for crime to decrease that we have to be harassed, right?
No,
it's always on our backs. Like for crime to be better, you have to go around and dig into black men's pockets to see if they have drugs.
If you interrupt me halfway through, you're not going to get my point.
I was just highlighting that point.
What I'm saying is that what they've found since then is that if you have police presence in an area without them harassing people. So basically have the cops there, don't have them stop and frisking, but have them be visible. That has similar reductions of crime. And I think that that's something that maybe we should look into. On the one hand, yes, these militarized police doing stop and frisk, kind of having this insanely adversarial relationship with communities, that has to end. But these people in the communities also deserve police protection. And if there's no police,
but we don't get protected. Once again, you're talking from a white perspective.
No, I'm not
because don't get that protection. That's my whole point, Jake.
When crime goes up in Baltimore, when crime goes up in New York, do you think it's people like me being affected? It's not. They don't look like me.
When crime goes up in New York, we're being affected on both ends, freaking ends. So
and that's what I'm saying, Clam. So
the argument that the presence of cops makes the community safer. You're talking about that, Jake, and you need to recognize that from a white perspective. Because Jake, you being a white male, you do not at all. When you think about cops, in your brain, they don't come across as evil, right? They haven't done anything in it. Am I missing?
Man, I got handcuffed by cops and my head slammed against the door over and over again when I was years old. I'm not a fan of cops, and I'm not saying that they're not racist. And of course, we're all slaves to our perspectives. I am just saying that when police activity if you completely defund the police, there is overwhelming evidence. This does not come from my perspective. This just comes from the data that crime is going to go up, and it is not going to be folks like me being affected. It's going to be, and it's going to be people like you, but younger. It's going to be people Bianca. This is the world Bianca's kid is growing up in, and I don't want Bianca's
tactics
to get brutalized by cops. I also don't want him growing up in a world where the violent crime rate spikes.
Fair tactics, fair tactics. I think there needs to be. I don't think that there isn't room for police officers. I think that the system needs to be more I don't want to say complicated. It needs to have different branches because cops can't handle all of the things that they get called for. Okay? Cops don't know how to de-escalate. Just from the Blake situation, you can see cops don't know how to de-escalate situations. So what are they there for? Like, you keep telling me that they bring safety, right? And I'm telling you that is the reason I'm telling you from it's a white perspective, because you see them as safe. I don't think they bring safety, because as a black man, I can only see them killing my people constantly every week and every month. When I see cops, the first thing that pops in my brain isn't, oh, I'm safe, the cops are here. It's, oh, fuck, the cops are here. Oh my God. Like that's the perspective that you're not understanding. And you can make it rosy and think that, oh, cops mean safety. That's fine. I can understand why you think that, but I will never think that, and I've never been trained.
We need to circle back on this, because like there is good data. I just don't have it. Like I was trying to desperately Google it.
I was trying to go into this. The reason why I was talking about this anyways, because I wanted you to listen to what the sheriff said once it got brought to his attention that people got shot by this dumbass.
Everybody involved was out after the curfew. I'm not going to make a great deal of that, but the point is the curfew's in place to protect. Had persons not been out involved in violation of that, perhaps the situation that unfolded would not have happened.
So, because protesters didn't adhere to his rules and go home, that's why they got shot. And it's majority people like this that are running police departments. It's people who think like this that are running all these departments. And this is why the system is terrible. And this is why the system constantly fails, because the people who are supposed to be the leaders think like this. As a cop who's supposed to look out for the safety of the civilians, he says, yeah, maybe if you were at home and you weren't past the curfew, you wouldn't have got shot. Like, you shouldn't be fired on the spot for saying something like that. But nope, he's going to continue probably to have his job. He's going to continue to do the same thing. And the police, and this is just exactly why I just hate this.
Well, that's all he was doing was saving his job. He was saving his ass. You know what I mean? He was like, all right, what's the one thing that I can say that will kind of make sense to people? Oh, well, there was a curfew that was supposed to be adhered by, and that wouldn't have happened. You know what I mean? So I don't.
I mean, even as
believes that.
Even as police chiefs go, like the police chief of Kenosha, Wisconsin, is pretty bad. I mean, he has a long history of saying racist shit. And yeah. Oh, and that's the real thing. Like, I don't think it's so much about defunding police. I think it's about like firing a lot of the police who are in charge now.
How do you do that with the unions?
No, it's hard. It's hard. And I don't have a game plan for it. But like it's gotten to the point. Like, I bring it back to civil rights. Like when school segregation was still going on, like the federal government had never done anything like forcing states to integrate their schools. But like as a nation, we were like, this has gotten so fucking bad that we need to just break tradition and change things on a massive scale. And I think that definitely needs to happen. And yeah, I'm not defending the police here. I just think that there is a place for police in society, and we don't need no police. We need good police, because like this police chief sounds like a dumb racist thug, you know. And a lot of cops, like including some cops I do martial arts with and stuff, are kind of dumb racist thugs, you know. And like we just need to. I'm not smart enough to know how to do this, but like we need to reform it so that's no longer the case. And
I don't think that. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, I threw out the defund the police thing just because that has been like a, I don't know, popular thing to say.
But we should.
But I would like if next week you could bring the actual studies and statistics on it, because I am interested to know, you know, but like how are those studies even done, I guess, is what I would want to know. Like, are they really done in earnest?
Yeah, I mean, listen, especially me as a white person, like talking about this, like I need to come correct. So like,
here's the yeah.
But
I just want to say, Jacob, I don't think, and when I get like a little irate like this, I don't think that you're defending. I think sometimes white people come from it from their perspective and how they feel and how they've lived life, and they don't understand that just because they've experienced something in a certain light, It doesn't mean everyone else is experiencing it that way. And if just because you find safety in this one thing, it doesn't mean I find safety in it. So when you take the symbol as it's going to make everything safer, and the same symbol has been the thing that's made me feel unsafe, then your argument can't
Listen, we're all slaves to our perspective. I just want to make that absolutely
bad choice of words, but go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. We're yeah, my bad. Yeah, we're all obviously completely defined. Our opinions are all defined by our perspective. I don't want to marginalize that. But what I'm saying, and once again, I wish I had this, is like, this is not from like, what I'm quoting is studies, and I should have, if I knew, I'd be more knowledgeable about this. But like, basically, if you remove police from a community altogether, violent crime goes up. It goes up a lot.
Right, but
and it doesn't go up. And generally speaking, and this is a solid foundation empirically, it does not affect people like me. It affects young Black people.
Once again, I think that's false. And the reason why I say it's false, because the majority of the people that have the most money in this country are Caucasian. The majority of people who don't are Blacks, Hispanics. So of course, when you're in a poor community, there's going to be more violence, especially when you don't have anything and your neighbor doesn't have any. The reason why there's violence in certain communities is because people don't have enough to live. When you think about suburban communities, there's not a lot of people stealing shit because everyone in the community has jobs, they have security, they have a home. So they're not they're not worried about making ends meet. When you live in a poor community, that's what you're constantly thinking about. And if you don't have the opportunities to make money, then you're going to try to find underhanded ways to do it. So it goes all back to the fact of it goes back to the system and how we have shaped it. And violence, that's what it blows my mind. I don't think that because the way that statistic made it sound is like the minorities are just going to go on an uprise because there's no cops. And I think that's bullshit.
Clint, I'm not making a values argument.
Poor people of all colors and creed are going to go, crime is going to go on the uprise with them. It just happens to be that the majority of people that are poor are Black and brown. So yes, the statistic is going to look like that when there's no police officers, that crime, there's an uptick in the brown and Black community because we don't have shit.
Clint, I'm not making a values argument here. I'm just saying that if we're advocating positions, we should just be clear about the potential unintended consequences of that. And like at the
right, but that's not the concept. But that's not the reason for the consequence. Okay, so the violent uptick has nothing to do with the cops, though. Is my point. The violent uptick will have to do with the fact that people don't have. It has nothing to do with the fucking cops, because Black and brown people don't feel safe with cops. So it has nothing to do with that. Cops are security guards. Cops are basically security guards at malls that are preventing, that'll be like, yo, the upscale people can go through, but hey, keep out the Black people. That's what they are. They are crowd control. That's all they do. So to you, like I said, their safety, they're not to me. And I'm gonna move on.
I mean, I need to come correct with this because, like, you're right. I mean, I'm not basing this off my own perspective. In this case, I mean, we all are, but like, there's been a lot of studies done on this. And I mean, if you're saying that you don't think having police in the community prevent any violence.
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay. But I just think, here's the thing. This is all I'm saying. I don't think that we should do, I think if there was a racist, corrupt school system, no one would say we have to just completely defund that school system. We don't need public schools, the private.
There are okay. Yeah, see,
I know. So no one is saying to defund those. They're saying we need to go in there and reform them. And that
the reason why people are saying to defend those is because they're not killing and murdering kids. They're two different. Like, of course we're not. Anyways, I'm done. I'm gonna move on. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Bianca, do you have anything to say?
You guys said a lot there, but yeah, no, I don't really have anything to add. I think that it would take a lot to reform the police, and I would still be leery of them because they're in a power position that nobody else is in. Plus, they're scared, and I get that. I'm sure being a police officer is not easy. I would never want to do that. I wouldn't want that for my son. I wouldn't want that for anybody that I know because of the stress of the job and everything else. So the type of training that's required is astronomical. And to be honest, I don't know if a human being can even be objective in situations that cops are put into. And that's what scares me about cops. Do I think that they should go away completely? I'm not sure. Like I said, to be honest, I personally have never been in a situation, thank God, knock on wood, where I've needed to call the cops. And I think about this all the time. Like sometimes I'm like, okay, when I walk my dog at night, I should bring my phone with me in case I need to call the cops, right? But then I think like, would I call the cops, or should I call my husband, or should I call somebody else to help me? I don't know. You know what I mean? Would they really be helpful? I don't know. I think, like I said, knock on wood, I've never been in such a situation. But so far, all I've seen is them not being there when you need them and being there when you don't need them. You know?
Yeah, I want to make something clear. I don't call the cops. Like, I got, about a month ago, I was involved in like some people invaded my house and tried to get me, and I had to fend them off. And like the thought of calling the police never even crossed my mind. And so, I mean, I think a lot of us don't trust the cops. I think that's where this comes from. And I think the defund the police movement is understandable because, like you said, police unions are just so resistant to even the most common sense reforms. You have all these like police chiefs who are just obviously racist. So I understand where it comes from. I just worry about the unintended consequences.
Right. And like I said, like being objective is not easy as a human being. Like, and cops are human beings who come with whatever backstories that they have. And most of the times those backstories may not be good, especially for Black folk or brown folks, whatever. And so that's what makes me worry. Do I think it's completely not going to be able to happen? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just leery of it. It's what I have to say, I guess. My mom is Black and she loves calling the damn police. She calls the police for everything. She used to tell me she'll call the police on me if I didn't do my homework and shit. So.
I do gotta say though, like that video where he just shot that guy 7 times, like I feel like we can do better than that. Like I just feel like there should be some mechanism we have for keeping people like that, keeping from people like the guy who killed George Floyd out of the police department.
If only the cops were given a sort of weapon where you could fire it, but it wouldn't kill someone, but somehow get them to the ground. Maybe you could have like a wire attached to it that, you know, shot out some kind of, you know.
I mean, there was a million ways they could have subdued that dude.
You call it a taser.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, maybe try using that maybe every once in a fucking blue moon. Anyways, we're gonna move on. So this is basically similar in the same. We're moving on, but not really.
Oh God, no! Can we just skip it then?
I love the racially fraught conversations.
Well, I guess this is not racial. I'm probably going to turn it into something racial because that's just, I don't know.
I can imagine what Jake is going to call this in
Jake is racist.
It's going to be called defund the police equals Black people killing each other.
My God. Okay, so NBA news, guys. The Milwaukee Bucks staged a walkout during Wednesday's NBA playoff game against the Orlando Magic in response to the recent police shooting of Mr. Blake. So that's a thing that happened. Also, one of the coolest thing I saw on TNT, they have like inside the NBA studios or something. I forgot what the show is called. It's like inside the NBA studios or some shit. It's like a pre-game. It's a pre-show. It's a pre-game show. What do you call that? A pre-show to the game. And and dang, I didn't write down his name, but one of the dudes, Kenny. His name is Kenny. I forgot his last name, but Kenny. He walked off. They were supposed to do a broadcast, and he walked off in solidarity with the players. He says, "As a Black man, as a former player, I think it's best for me to support the players and just not be here tonight." And so he took off his mic and then he walked off. And like that right there, man, I needed some shit like that. Like that is some honorable Black shit to do, you know? And I couldn't help but notice as Charles and Shaq sat on both ends just kind of with their heads down like, damn, I hope no one sees me. Like, it is the contrast between Shaq and Kenny, and even what's his name was there too. What is the other dude? What is the other guy's name? Do you know who I'm talking about? No.
I don't watch Sports Center enough.
Anyways, it's just the contrast of Kenny standing up and be like, you know what, I'm going to stand with the players and I'm going to go. And you have Shaq and the other Taco Bell dude, I forgot his gosh forsaken name. There, he did a Taco Bell commercial. He was a basketball player. I don't know why his name.
You do one Taco Bell commercial and you become the Taco Bell guy.
But the fact that he did that, it was so gangster, man. It just showed that there's more than just like, sometimes you just need to stand up for what's right, even if it might affect you in a negative way. I love that. I love when I see people stand up regardless of the consequences, because you know what you're standing for is right. It's like, F the consequences, F what's gonna come my way. What I'm standing up for is what needs to be said, and I needed that.
And people specifically with platforms, especially a platform as large as, ESPN or whatever, like a lot of people watch that and the players, and I have to give it up to those teams for not playing. Like a lot of white people, saw that, a lot of black people obviously, and that's really important when you have a platform to use it in the right way. I'm really happy about that too.
Yeah, that's straight gangsta. And
I thought it was really powerful.
Yeah. And speaking of
Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
Doc Rivers thing was the best. Cried.
Yeah, what was his quote? I think was literally like, "We continue to love this country, and this country, like continues to hate us," or something like that, or something like that. And
yeah, it was definitely something like that.
Like, he was so getting teary-eyed and everything, and his voice is already like this.
I think the best thing about it is, like, people who don't like Black Lives Matter, the right is trying to portray Black Lives Matter as this like insane movement that wants to like burn everything down, when in reality it's like really, really reasonable. And it's just, I feel like, especially like Doc Rivers is like a dude, he just seemed very reasonable, and like he was afraid for his kids,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like at some level most people can identify with that. So yeah, I was looking forward to watching those playoff games, but they'll come a few days later, and I think it was a really powerful thing. I think it was really good.
Yeah.
I think
it humanized
I think the act I think the act was brave by the Bucks also. I know I talked about the Kenny thing, but as a team to collectively be like, you know what, guys, we can't do this tonight. And for the organization and the coaches to still kind of to be with that is incredible, because 2 years ago you can't even fathom some shit like that happening. Just to like kneel or put your hands up or whatever at when the anthem was being played, people like chastise you and call you outside your name, and to now have to sort of be at the stage where we can be like, nah, we're walking, like we're gonna take the night off. We can't, like, we're not in the space to do this right now. You guys, like, this is bull. I love that, and I want that.
Is like oh, sorry, go on.
Go ahead.
Oh, the NBA is like the most progressive force in America right now. They like the Corona test. They're taking a line on racial justice. Basically, all the shit we wish the president would do, the NBA is doing, which is kind of sad for the country, but it's good on the NBA. And it's makes me proud to be a basketball fan. In a way, I'm not always proud to be a football fan.
Right, and there's a lot of black players in pretty much all sports. Let's be honest. But the NBA especially, and like and sometimes I feel like, I don't know how it feels for them, but it's just like, why would we play this game where all of these rich white people are, filling up the seats near us, seeing us close up and everything, and it's like, I don't know, I would be annoyed. Not again, it's not an all white people problem, but I mean, white
kind of is. One interesting thing about the NBA versus the NFL is that if you are an NBA fan, you're like statistically it's almost 100% you vote Democratic. Whereas if you're an NFL fan, it's about 50-50, maybe a little more Republican. So it's not just the players. It's all like those rich white people in the crowd of the NBA stadium, like they're probably like more supportive of Black Lives Matter than the white guy in like the box seats of like a hockey game or an NFL game.
Oh, yeah, hockey.
I mean, hockey, it's like, Love hockey, guys. No disrespect.
Oh dear God, lacrosse.
Yeah.
All right. The next story that we're gonna move on to continue with athletes.
Great.
So guys, Usain Bolt, days after hosting.
Wait, this isn't funny.
Days after hosting a flashy maskless birthday bash, which featured just about everything but, masks. It had
I didn't even know about that.
He celebrated his 34th birthday,
Oh,
and his birthday present was the Rona.
was the That's not funny. I laugh inappropriately. I need everybody to know that.
Now, I laugh. Yo, I'm a Jamaican. I love me some Usain Bolt. But did you see? You probably didn't see it in videos, man. Jamaicans be wildin', bro, sometimes. Like, we're out there trying to be, traditional Jamaicans, party, grinding. You know how we do when we're partying.
Mm-hmm.
With no mask, knowing that the corona is still around. And Jamaicans are way more hostile than Americans towards someone who has corona. Like, if someone in America, someone has corona, you're like, oh man, I hope you feel better. In Jamaica, y'all corona. More from you, like, oh my God, like, they're so dramatic with their ish. Yeah, they
Jamaican accent, it just brings me joy. Can you do it more often?
Blood clot, move your COVID. No, I'm joking. No. But nah, like, they go ham over like other people having corona. Yeah,
like,
they
they're
don't.
disgusting.
Exactly. Like, I'm not dealing with nobody want to have corona, and I'm not dealing with them. Like, they be banishing people for having corona. They wild out. Yet they still get together in large groups and party like there is no disease. I'm a guy, like, I try to keep up with Jamaican news. For the last month or so, I've just been like, I can't. Y'all niggas is crazy. Y'all people wilding. And plus, it's also election. And it's election, and even our politicians are ridiculous. Because in Jamaica, when it's election, and you're sort of cheering for the person that you want to win, it's a whole outside caravan thing. Like, it's a whole parade. And they did that with no mask, all on top of trucks and shit, cheering like there's no virus around. And I am. So
before we shit on Jamaicans too much, I just want to say that LA, there's a party house near my house in Providence. Every weekend, it's fucking lit. People are
Providence college kids, man.
Providence college kids. I saw yesterday. I watched Trump's speech, which was a doozy. But there were like hundreds of people watching him in the Rose Garden or in front of the White House or whatever. They were all like cheek to jowl. None of them were wearing masks. So I don't think we should be too hard. I mean, it's your place to be hard on Jamaica.
I'm gonna be hard on them.
I personally feel like Jamaica might be doing better than we are.
No. We don't have as much people, right? So we're doing better because we're more tenacious and we're not as much of us as dying. And that might be the issue where it's like, not like people are dying in Jamaica, but it's not like there's way more people surviving than dying. Yeah. So I think there's a false sense of sort of like security. Like, when we first opened up the beaches in Jamaica, oh my God, after Corona, everybody was like, it's like the first time they ever saw a beach or a river. Everybody was, it's like, dude.
Same thing in Narragansett.
Like, you're all hanging out. Yeah. And they're allowing tourists to come back. And I get it. That's how we make our money, but.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, it's hard.
Well,
I mean,
sorry, go ahead, Jake.
I just feel like Jamaica has more of an excuse for that, because like opening up tourists, you guys need the revenue. Like,
yeah, that's our main
that's our economy. When like
I know that's why I try not to
just get gangster. Yeah, I'm embarrassed. I feel like we're doing just as bad as job. Like Bianca said, Narragansett is like lit right now. I guarantee.
I went to Narragansett.
Narragansett is a party.
It was nobody was wearing a mask. It was like it was pre-corona there. I couldn't believe it. I was shook to the core. My grandmother was like, "Oh, I want to see your son on the beach and everything else." I took him there. I took 2 pictures and we were out. I was like, "Nah, we're out of here."
I have not visited any beach.
I thought that you were going to bring up why I was laughing originally when you said Usain Bolt, because did you see that they reported it but used Kevin
Hart's picture? Yes.
Really?
Yes, on Facebook, instead of, they were like, Usain Bolt has corona,
They don't
but
look
instead of
anything
Usain
alike.
Bolt, it was fucking Kevin Hart's picture.
It was Kevin Hart.
They
And he
look
even made fun of
nothing
Kevin
him.
Hart.
alike.
And Kevin Hart is
I'm
short.
looking at
Usain
a
is
picture
pretty
of
tall.
Usain Bolt right now. Nothing alike.
That's the funny thing. He's like, y'all still think black people look. That had me in tears.
That's
It's not
hilarious.
funny at all. It's actually really messed up. Like, stop thinking that black people look alike. Like, stop it.
Or just hire a black person or two.
They blamed it on Facebook's algorithm or some ish like that.
I mean, algorithms are racist as fuck, people. So
True.
I wonder how he's doing. Do you have any news about how he is doing?
he'll be
He's
fine.
He's
dude.
he's doing fine. He's doing fine. He's not like in any critical like condition at this
Yeah, I
point.
mean,
He,
he's a
like
super
He's
healthy
just an idiot.
young
That's
guy.
the only problem.
like if you see the party, it's so I think, and I'm sorry, I find things amusing when you see like someone in a party and they're just masklessly just having a great time. Cut to a couple of days or a week later, fucking corona. Like I'm sorry, but I think he's not gonna die.
Clan
I'm
hates
good.
Christmas, but he likes the suffering of others, people.
No, wait, that's not nice. I don't. I just find it hilarious when you brag, when you throw caution to wind, and yet in the end you get hit by the wind, or the caution. One of those. I don't know. Anyways, moving on. Moving on to some news. So a 19-year-old nominee from Kansas House of Representative announced Sunday that he's withdrawing from the race months after admitting that he sent revenge porn and bullied girls online when he was in middle school. His name is Aaron Coleman, and he was the certified winner for the Democratic primary election last week by just 14 votes. And he said he decided to drop out of the race to, quote, focus on caring for my family. So several women accused Coleman of bullying them online when he was in middle school, including calling a sixth grade girl fat. And before you laugh, he also encouraged her to kill herself.
Oh.
One woman said that Coleman obtained a nude photo of her and threatened to distribute it on the internet, in which he did. He did distribute it.
While he was in middle school?
Very overachieving middle
While
school.
he was in middle school, she was 13 at the time.
So he wasn't an adult, is what
No.
Okay,
All of this happened when he was in middle school. And I think he should drop out. And oh God, I'm gonna get killed. He should drop out. I guess the question, Bianca, you're a woman, that I want to ask. I'm just saying, no, let me say off the bat, he's a terrible person. I don't agree with anything he did or attempts to do in the future. I just want to ask the question, should the things that he did in middle school continue to follow him as an adult? Should what he did, as terrible and grotesque as those things were, from showing the photo of the nude girl to calling the girl fat and telling her to kill herself, like, should all that follow him into his adult life? Like, if he chooses to do something, should we judge his character on what he did in middle school?
I as a person who has as a teacher who has taught middle school, like, and a person who obviously at some point was in middle school, I can tell you, and all of my experience, middle school is the sickest time of your life, when you are just a disgusting individual. You don't care about anybody but
No
yourself.
empathy. Zero
And
empathy.
you don't even care about yourself either. They're always talking about they want to kill themselves too. Like, every day I'd be like, okay, passing out the homework, I'm gonna kill myself. I'm like, Jesus. Like, my God, I have to call the social.
It's bringing back memories.
Yeah, I gotta call the social worker in my room like every period of the day. I'm like, listen, this person passed out homework, they gotta kill themselves. Anyways, So I can attest to the fact that when you are in middle school, I think your brain literally just leaves your body for several years. I'm really scared about my own son going to middle school. So do I think that should follow you all the way to adulthood? Not unless you do like some like serious crime that would mean that you have an actual mental illness. I think people say mean crap in middle school all the time, tell people to kill themselves, tell themselves they want to die. I would have to know more about this guy and see if he did it further into his life in order for it to
yeah. That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say that I think like if he continued those behaviors, then yes. If he didn't, we can recognize that he was this person, but then try to understand who he is now.
We were all that person. Like, I actually recently started hanging out with my 7th grade English teacher again. She lives right near me, and she has a big backyard and a dog.
Hilarious.
Yeah, she's awesome. I love her to death. And every time I see her, I feel the need to be like, I'm so sorry about when I really apologize. She is a lesbian, and we were just so sick to her. Like, oh, she's looking at so-and-so's boobs. Like, why would you say that? Like,
these kids are awful.
Like, she's not a pedophile. Like, she's a lesbian. Like, she's not looking at, first of all, we didn't even have boobs. We thought we did. We didn't.
It's because it's at that age where you start thinking that you're old enough, right? The middle school is the age where you start being like, oh, I'm old. So but you don't even understand the world. So you make like dumb jokes thinking they make sense, but it's lack of knowledge. Yeah.
I mean, every time I'm like, listen, I'm so sorry. Like, God, we were just hideous kids. Hideous kids. Kids continue to be disgusting in middle school. I can't even tell you. So no.
I taught middle school briefly in another country, and I almost wrote my middle school teachers like letters saying,
yeah.
It's like I literally was thinking about it. Yeah.
It's
start like searching their name.
Yeah.
They like really, I tell them all the time, like I would talk to them and be like, I know you think that this is real. I know you think that this is real, and it hurts, and it does hurt, and I get that. But when I tell you in a week this is not going to matter to you, maybe even a day, like literally sometimes I'd have to like circle around, okay, are you and so-and-so still fighting? You know, are you able to do this project together? And they'd be like, oh, miss, we made it. I'm like, oh my God, literally the other day you said you were going to kill yourself if you had to work with them. So.
So good thing you didn't.
Yes. And now they're like, oh, I love her. I'm like, oh my God.
I can't. This is too much drama.
Yeah.
All right. And speaking of idiotic things, the next story is pretty idiotic. A man whose parking space was stolen by neighbors came up with a way to teach them a lesson. His name is Tobe Bailey, and he's 49 years old. He first attached the note to the windshield of the car, but when it was still there the next day, he wrapped the entire car in black cellophane. Basically, he saran wrapped that mother lover. Black saran wrapped the entire car because the person did not move their car. He's 49, by the way, just to let you know. He's not in his 20s. He's 9 years, grown-ass man.
Dude, young at heart. I respect it. That shit.
Love it. That's really funny to me.
I was riding my bike through Boston a few months ago, and I saw a car with a big spray painted sign, like spray painted on the side, don't park here again.
Oh my
God.
Yeah.
Yo, people are territorial about that, man.
Especially in Boston. You can get your wigs.
Oh, yeah. Finding parking in Boston, it's like
finding it's the worst.
A haystack.
I hate it.
I start feeling like a middle schooler. I'm like, you know what? Goodbye, cruel world. I can't find a parking spot. Like,
yo, Boston parking is weird. Like,
you
can only park here for 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's like the middle of Boylston Street. I'm like ready to like abandon ship. I'm just like, forget it. Like,
I'm a commuter rail boy. I don't drive to Boston.
How would you react if you came out to your car wrapped in freaking saran wrap or whatever? I'd be pissed.
Well, it depends on the mood that I'm in at the time. Like, if I'm in a rush to go
somewhere, you gotta unwrap that.
I might laugh.
I'd be so pissed. I'm trying to get to work and I gotta unwrap my car before I get inside. Like,
Gotta unwrap
no.
If I was running late, they might get these hands. You know what I'm
Like I'd be so mad, dude. I'm like, you can't call me, you can't knock on my door. Like I got a doorbell. You can't like ring me up and be like, can you move the car? This is not.
I mean, at least that doesn't damage the car, you know. That I would be grateful for. Like, at least you didn't do something stupid, like, you know, key my car or slash my tires.
Spray paint. Don't park
Right,
here.
spray painted. Ridiculous.
All right, so we're gonna move on now, guys, to the audio breakdown portion of the show. So this week, my friends, last week the Democrats had their turn. This week is the Republicans' turn to tell you why they should still be in power. And it was a show. Did any of you guys watch the Republican?
I watched President Donald J. Trump's speech, but it went on forever, and it was a bad speech. His hair kept on. His hair didn't look good. It wasn't a great.
When does it look good?
What?
I said, when does it look good? You said it doesn't look good. The question for me is, when does it look? Like, I don't know. I've never seen it look good.
The wind was lifting it up, though. Yeah, you're right. It never looks good. It looks worse than before.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense to me. I get that. So, yeah, it was a week of speeches from a lot of people. I have two speeches for you to listen right now in the audio breakdown. One is just a little clip from Herschel Walker, and let's listen to what Mr. Walker had to say.
One time, I planned to take his kids to Disney World with my family. At the last minute, Donald said he'd like to join us. So there he was, in a business suit, on It's a Small World ride. That was something to see.
So that was him telling you why Donald Trump is a great dad and why he's a great human, why he's a great father to his kids. Because one time, Herschel Walker was going to take Donald's kids to Disney, it seems, and Donald decided, hey, you know what, Herschel? I'm going to come with you guys. And he did. And that's why Donald is a great man.
It was a sight to see.
Oh, was it a sight to see? Oh, do I hate. Ooh, I hate. I hate the I'm not black, I'm OJ type niggas. I hate those type of black people. I hate black people who like, oh, no, I'm above that. It burns. What did they say? It boils my blood. It does, man. Like, he was up there just cooning it out. He was like an owl that learned how to. Oh my god! It was frustrating. It was frustrating because he doesn't understand that humanizing this individual is spitting in the face of every black person who helped to get him where he is as a person. People like him, black dudes like him, think they got to where they are because of their skills. They do not recognize that they didn't get there just because of their skills. They got there because tons of black people from history worked their ass off, protested, got shot, got attacked by dogs, got sprayed by hose, so that he can become a fucking football player that later on decides to champion a dictator. I can't. Like I said, I totally understand white people doing this. I find it even more disgusting when our own kind coons it out like that. Like, how? And it's clearly because he only cares about money. Like, people, I feel like black people like that, the only thing they care about is money and how it affects them. Like, they don't care about their other fellow black guy, because it's like, yo, what, like, how is this guy gonna improve my life? I feel like they think like that. They think like, how is this nigga gonna improve my life? I don't owe him nothing. If he ain't gonna improve my life, then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna champion or support someone who's gonna improve my life and give me money. So I feel like all of this stuff, when you see people like that, they're just driven by money. We were talking about Candace Owen earlier. Another person who coons it up for money. Majority of these black dudes just like, they do that, and it's so selfish because they don't realize, or maybe they do realize, that it's harmful against the movement as a whole. So I don't know. I don't have a question for that.
I mean, I think anyone on the right, white or black, there's a lot of that. Like, supposedly Sean Hannity is always complaining about what a maniac Trump is and just like how stupid and crazy he is. But yet Sean Hannity, despite like knowing that this person should not be in charge, is basically sucking his dick on TV whenever he gets the chance.
Because of money.
Yeah, because he needs to get that bread, you know. And you know, I'm not going to speak on black conservatives versus white conservatives because it's not really my place. But like, I think they're both like. Candace Owens is not alone. Like that blonde girl, Toni Loran or whatever, she's doing the same shit. Like a lot of people on the left do this too, but just the one on the right is they're just grifters, you know, and it's bad. It
is awful. Well, there was more speeches at the. Oh, were you gonna say something, Bianca? I'm sorry.
Nope, I just said agreed.
There was clearly so many more speeches. But the speech that I want to listen to you, it was arousing. It had emotion. There was noise. It was big. So I think you guys should definitely listen to this. It's a fantastic speech.
It just shows you what a caring, loving father he is.
So we're gonna.
If you want to see the socialist Biden-Harris future for our country, just take a look at California. His promise was to put America first, and he has.
Yes.
Thank you,
that
Karen.
beacon shined bright once again for the world to see. America, it's all on the line. President Trump believes in you. He emancipates and lifts you up to live your American dream. Ladies and gentlemen, leaders and fighters for freedom and liberty and the American dream, the best is yet to come.
Lay off the Adderall, girl. Jesus.
Oh,
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, that was terrifying, and it felt
Who
like
was that?
I feel like I could feel her spit.
That was Donald Trump
You
Jr.'s
know?
girlfriend. I forgot her actual name. What were you saying, Bianca? Sorry.
No, I was just saying I feel like I could feel her spit. I feel like I could feel coronavirus droplets on my face just hearing that speech.
It was an intense speech. Woo.
It's ironic that she's shitting on California because you know she used to date the current Democrat
Governor.
of
Yeah.
California,
Yeah.
which I just love. And she's fucking Donald Trump Jr. now and
Oh my god.
married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one word
These
she did
hoes
say,
ain't loyal, folks.
the truest thing she said in that was when she was talking about emancipate, like he emancipates you. And she's right though, because I looked at the definition of emancipation, the fact of the fact of process of being set free from legal, social, or political restriction. So she's absolutely right. She's absolutely right. Donald Trump is. I agree, is what I'm saying.
He's the great emancipator, is what you're saying.
Yes, he is. He's the man.
None of you guys saw Donald Trump's speech last night, but one of the around the time I turned it off was when he said, I think I'm quoting directly here. He said, "I say humbly that I have done more for Black people in this country than any president since Lincoln."
He said that before. What an idiot.
Yeah, he actually said that, and they
doesn't know what humble means.
Everyone went crazy, and they turned to the crowd, and there were like 3 Black people smattering the whole audience, just like loving it. It's crazy. Yeah, I don't. If Donald Trump wins again, I'm seriously going to consider just swimming into the ocean, just like.
Yeah, right. Just become a middle schooler again and just
kill
goodbye
myself.
to the world.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for my favorite part of the show. It's called Convince Me. It's where we have to convince Bianca, that's Jacob and I, we have to convince Bianca of these 3 things. And the first thing, actually, before I give the list of things that we're going to talk about, am I for or am I against? I cannot remember. Were you for or against last week, Jake?
I was against the prison Cheeto.
All right, so you were against. So you're gonna be pro, and I'm gonna be a con. All right, so I'm gonna be con, and you're gonna be pro. So the first thing that we're gonna talk about is food, guys. So General Mill has caught on to what everyone has been saying. They, for a limited time, they're going to be selling bags full of Lucky Charm marshmallows. So just marshmallows. is what they're going to sell. So I'm going to try to convince Bianca why she should buy the bag of Lucky Charms.
No, I'm pro.
Damn it! I'm going to be convincing Bianca
Nice try.
that she shouldn't buy this garbage. And Jake is going to try to convince her why she should buy it. So do you want to go first, Jake, or you want me to go first?
Yeah, it won't take me too long. Obviously, we all love Lucky Charms. We love the little fucking leprechaun. We love them, but what we love the marshmallows. What we don't love are the little pieces of cardboard masquerading as cereal. Whenever I got Lucky Charms, I would always, like a surgeon, just scoop out the marshmallows, and then, like, if I was still hungry, like, eat some of the cereal. This is the best thing they could have done. They should have done it years ago, decades, bro.
Bianca, what is life without balance? This is not a balanced cereal. Think about it. When you ate the Lucky Charms, those little cardboard little pieces, they balance the sweetness. So it wasn't just intensity sugar. You're getting some cereal with a little bit of sweetness, right? It was a nice balance. This marshmallow monstrosity is just going to be all sugar. Your cereal is literally going to be dissolving in milk. You're just going to have a bowl full of marshmallowy milk froth. That does not sound delicious at all, Bianca. And plus, Bianca, you also have a child. You wouldn't know. Why would you bring something so sugary and not good for your child in your household? I don't think you should spend any money on this garbage cereal made of just magic marshmallows. I believe they're going to call it Just Magical Marshmallows. Terrible name, terrible concept. You shouldn't buy it.
Well, I'm biased here because I don't like Lucky Charms anyways. So to get all marshmallows sounds absolutely disgusting. Clan, you're absolutely right. You do need a balance. It does sound like it'll melt right into the milk. Just man, that doesn't sound right.
The black people always gang up on me in this podcast.
But the thing is that I have to say, like, Jake, Clan's winning here, but Jake, I do know that people who love Lucky Charms do just love the marshmallows, and therefore they would love this. But since I don't like it anyways, I definitely don't want just the marshmallows. That sounds disgusting. I like boring cereal. Like, honestly, I like Kix. Like,
this is good.
Plain Cheerios.
Honey Bunches of Oats is my jam. Honey Bunches of Oats is my jam.
I like Raisin Bran.
Yo, I like Honey Nut Cheerios, but I only really like it dry. I don't like it with milk. I feel like milk ruins it. I like just eating it as like a nice little snack. I don't know.
Fair.
I'm such a cracker. I like grape nuts and stuff. I love
grape nuts.
You just like punishment. You like intense women.
Fiber.
You like intense cereal. You're just goddamn Jake.
Yeah, as bitches are throwing things at me, I'm
right. You're just like,
especially like Candace Owen.
No, I'm just joking. I wouldn't date Candace Owen.
He would just have relations.
Isn't that strong?
Oh my God! If you say jungle fever one more time,
I'm gonna edit that out.
I swear to God.
What are you smoking?
Nothing. Sorry.
Is it a jewel?
It's like a jewel, but for weed. I'm gonna.
All right. So. All right. Cool. So I definitely won that round. So the next thing we're going to do is artists. The story, guys, an Instagram model, her name is Vanessa. That's Vanessa, not Vanessa, but Vanessa. And she's 27. She's gone under the knife 4 times to correct the shape of her nose because she wants to look like Penelope Cruz. Okay? So your child is awesome.
Because he can see me. This is the problem. He can see me.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I see you over there. You just on the computer doing nothing.
Exactly.
And I'm over here, and you're not paying attention to me. He's like, ah.
So this time we're going to try to convince Bianca why it's okay that this model I'm going to be convincing Bianca why this model shouldn't get more plastic surgery to correct her nose to look like Penelope Cruz. And you're going to try to convince her why she should. Why not? So you went first last time, right? So I'm going to go
first this time.
All right. So Bianca, first of all, I feel like this woman should have a little bit more love, a little self-love. She's an individual. She looks like her parents. Why would you change your features to look like someone else's parents or like you're related to someone else?
That's funny.
Yeah, like you should be happy with the nose and the face that you're given. I'm sure you're a model, so I'm sure you're beautiful already. It's just the thing that women don't understand is if you're already hot, the more you do to your face, you're not gonna get hotter. It's gonna decrease how you look. It's gonna decrease the hotness. It's not gonna improve. So if you're already attractive, just be content with that. Why change your nose?
All right, Bianca, listen. This girl's a model, which means she was probably a child model, which means she probably has some shitty fucking parents. So she probably doesn't even want to look like them. Penelope Cruz is a badass B-word. Excuse me. And yeah, she's a grown-ass woman. She's 27. She should be able, if she wants to fucking tattoo an ice cream cone on her face like Gucci Mane, she should be able to do that, you know? This is America. We're allowed to do what we want, land of the free. And if you want to carve up your nose until it looks like an approximation of Penelope Cruz's, then go for it, dog. That's what America's about.
All right, thanks, guys.
He agrees with me.
He likes it too. I think he's agreeing with me.
Like, oh my God, he's looking at me.
I think he's agreeing with me. He's saying Cleon's point was on point. It was solid, some solid stuff.
Well, I'm sad to say, Cleon, I think I got to go with Jake here. I am somebody who believes that you should do whatever you want to your body if it makes you happy, as long as it's for you and not for somebody else. And,
don't get nose jobs, though. It ends badly most of the time.
Nose jobs not always, but tend to look pretty bad on a lot of people. And so I wouldn't suggest it, but she should do what she wants to do. You know, go her if she's making herself look the way she wants to and she's got the money for it.
Honestly, I agree. I like if whatever makes you happy. If you want to make your nose into look like a popsicle, whatever shape you want to make it triangular, however, do it. It makes you content. It makes you happy with yourself. Yeah. Do all that.
And I like have a lot of sympathy for that because one of my favorite features of myself is my nose. I feel like I've got a good, solid nose. Not too big, not too wide, not too skinny, not too short. I feel like the one thing I can feel confident about is like, you know what? My nose is decent nose. It's
crazy because you're Jewish and black.
I know. It's incredible. And I've seen some schnozzes in my life. People in my own family got some schnozzes. And I was blessed, I have to say. And so, you know, I feel bad. If you don't have a good nose, it really does make a big difference on your face, you know? So I feel
we're all very attractive people, and it is a privilege. You know, there is
Yo,
it's true.
I can't.
It's true.
I can't. All right. So the next thing, this is the last thing that we're going to try to convince Bianca. So, guys, have you heard McDonald's is bringing us a spicy nuggets? That's right. Fuck plain nuggets. Some spicy nuggets are being entered. So September 16th is when McDonald's is going to bring us the spicy new nuggets. So Bianca, I'm going to try to convince you why this is dumb and you shouldn't go and purchase these nuggets. And Jake is going to tell you why you should. I believe, did I go? I can't remember if I went first last time. I think I did.
Go first this time.
So go ahead, Jake.
All right, first of all, hot sauce in my bag. Swag. Hot sauce makes everything better. I'm shocked they didn't come up with this like 10 years ago, once again. Like, obviously, like chicken nuggets are great. We all love chicken nuggets. The idea of grinding up parts of the chicken you don't want, making a product, and then deep frying that shit, it's a winner. But like, that's the classic food you want to dump hot sauce on. So probably McDonald's won't make it spicy enough, but it'll probably be pretty good. I mean, genuinely, I feel like this is something I wholeheartedly support, and all right-thinking Americans should support hot sauce on their chicken nuggets.
Bianca, Jake argued against his point, right? He said that they're not going to make it that spicy. Like, why attempt to do something if you're not even going to make it that good? You already have a great product, McDonald's. We all love your chicken, your McNuggets. We all do. I don't want to see it change. If I want to make it spicy, guess what? I'm going to add my own hot sauce to the level of that I want it to. I don't want McDonald's to go in there and be like, oh, let me add this. And it's not even going to be enough. They say it's spicy, but it's really just going to have a hint of hot flavor. Like it's going to be
Scotch bonnet. No Scotch bonnet.
It's either going to have a hint or it's going to be tangy. And who I hate, I don't know about you, but I hate hot, tangy shit. And I feel like McDonald's isn't going to make it nice and it's not going to make it delicious. It's going to make it hella tangy. And who wants tangy nuggets? Nobody here asked for tangy-ass nuggets, all right? We all want the original nuggets to the original recipe. Like, think about that. That is such a, it's one of those things. You go to McDonald's, you know you order the nuggets, it's going to be the way it was yesterday and the day before. Like, why enhance something that doesn't need to be enhanced? That's my point.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and say that you both lose because McDonald's nuggets are disgusting. Regardless of whether there's some sauce or some seasoning on them. Those things are so yak. I can't believe that people like them. Honestly, it kills me. Like Jake had said, it's whatever parts of the chicken that you don't want. It's the damn feet. It's the damn beak meat. It's some nasty. It's probably the gully.
Yeah.
No. I'm not eating it. No way. Either with or without the hot sauce or the seasoning and everything else. No. So yeah, you both lose.
Oh, damn it.
Disgusting.
Everybody loses.
Everybody.
Honestly, I didn't even like McDonald's when I was little.
Really?
I still thought that shit was. I mean, I've always had a bougie palate. I'm not gonna tell a lie, and it's unfortunate. Like I'm not gonna tell a lie. I've tried Chick-fil-A 2-3 times, and
you know that you're.
I'm not. I haven't done it again since I was well aware.
Your husband's sister is.
My mom is. I understand that.
And your mom, yeah, your mom too.
I haven't done it since I was like aware of all the things that they do with their money. I was not aware when I first tried them. Okay, leave me alone. I wasn't aware. You know what I mean? I knew that they were Christian, but I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I just didn't think it was very good. I'll take Popeyes any day over Chick-fil-A, honestly.
I have never put a piece of Chick-fil-A sandwich, bread to my mouth. Nothing.
And listen, and I wouldn't do it again. I wouldn't do it again. But I'm saying that they seem to not use the different parts of the chicken thing. I can tell when you bite into a chicken nugget from freaking McDonald's, it's like, this is definitely the gully.
The chicken butt.
This is say what? Chicken butt, yeah. But from Chick-fil-A, they use the Lord's meat. They use
no gay chickens. None
of that gay chicken.
All very, very small.
All their chickens are hetero.
Big breasted.
Damn right.
Those breasts. And put them into nice nuggets. I have to say that.
I love some big-breasted hetero chickens myself. So
I'd rather eat the chicken feet in the McDonald's when it comes down to it, because of course I do not want to support those mofos.
Yeah.
But I wish some of the other places would take a hint and use some real chicken meat. Come on now.
Well, technically there is chicken meat.
Yeah.
Plus joints and other stuff,
and soy product.
Right. All right. Well, that was the week of Convince Me. I guess none of us won. It was 1-1 pretty much. But next week we'll come back next week.
In 2020, everyone loses.
Honestly.
For real. That is yeah. All right, it is time for a part of the show that I truly enjoy. It's the part where I try to convince Bianca that birds are really cool in a segment called Bianca, Birds Are Like Really Cool. And today, Bianca, the bird that we're going to talk about the killdeer. First of all, great name off the bat, the killdeer. That is a great bird name. So the killdeer, which is found across North America, will frame being injured, so it will fake an injury. It'll fake being crippled to lure out predators towards it. And so basically, it fakes like it's injured so it could lure, wow, I can't even say that word right, lure predators from its nest. That is a brilliant bird that is thinking 2 steps ahead. So if the predator is trying to get its eggs, it'll be like, hey, look at me, look at this. I'm injured. Come eat me. Lure it. Can't even say that word. I'm going to stop saying that word. Distracting the predator from its nest. And Bianca, if that doesn't tell you that birds are smart for one, and that they deserve to exist in our world, I don't know what else. Like, this is a brilliant, smart bird who is just like, bop, 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 bop.
I don't care how smart they are. In fact, the more smart they are, it freaks me out even more. And if they were so smart, they would stay off my porch, first and foremost. And also, have you ever heard of the term bird brain? You're a bird brain.
Right.
It's because you're dumb.
No, because people assume that birds are dumb.
Not smart, they're dumb. They're probably faking an injury. That thing comes over to them, and then they probably actually get injured.
That's an assumption. Bird brain is just like we assume that owls are smart. When owls are one of the dumbest birds because they don't have space for their brain. The majority of their skull is taken up by their eyes. We don't know that much about birds. So when people said dumb as birds, it's because they weren't thinking about stuff like the raven. That is a brilliant bird, can even understand speech. The parrot, also a brilliant bird that can understand and mimic speech. So you can't say that birds are dumb, Bianca. Birds are pretty smart. We just thought they were dumb because we assumed that we're superior.
Here's the issue, is that I don't care about how dumb or smart they are. They're disgusting looking. And yes, I'm judging it by the way it looks.
Bianca hates birds for their successes. She also hates birds for their failures. She's a bird.
An equal opportunist. All birds can get it. Can get
even the smart ones.
Yeah. I mean, they're just disgusting. Just because they're smart doesn't mean they're not gross. I mean, if I saw one pretending to be injured, oh my god.
Because it's trying to protect its child. Like, as a mom, I don't understand how you don't connect with that. Like, this bird will pretend like it's injured so that it can protect its child. As a mom, how do you not even connect with that?
The thing about birds, they can fly. So why not fly away
and leave their young?
Where are the young? In a place where they can be eaten? Why are they so close to somewhere they can be eaten? Why would you not be smart enough to put your shit sky high?
Predators can get almost anywhere. They can climb up trees. There's predators that can climb trees, Bianca. That's where they live.
I don't think you're gonna convince her, Clan.
All right. Well, not this week, but next week for sure. I know for sure next week I have more facts that I'm gonna hit you with.
Okay.
Yeah, tell them we're almost done.
Bianca's supervisor is getting on her case.
All right.
Out of this thing, and that might help.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna. I don't know if Bianca's out of the shot, but it was a show. It was a good one. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. All the people that watch our videos, we truly appreciate you so much. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to watch an hour of us just going off at the mouth. We appreciate that. Please tell a friend that we are here. And please subscribe and all that good stuff. Like it if you happen to like it and all that stuff. Comment if you so inclined to do so. But thank you very much for joining our show. We'll be back next week with more fun things. And remember, guys, your opinion means nothing unless you have facts to back it up. This has been Coffee Milk.
It's only my opinion. Coffee Milk.